There are some conversations that make you rethink not just what you're doing in your business, but how you're approaching it altogether. When I sat down with Jacki DeVries, I expected to learn about AI, and I definitely did. We talk about how AI is changing the way potential clients find businesses, why traditional SEO isn't enough anymore, and what business owners can do today to make sure they're not invisible in this next chapter of search. But what surprised me most was that our conversation kept coming back to something much bigger. We talked about what it's like to build a business in a world that's changing faster than any of us can keep up with. The pressure to learn everything, the temptation to believe you're already behind, and the reality that sometimes the biggest advantage isn't knowing all the answers, it's being willing to stay curious and adapt. Jacki also shares her own entrepreneurial journey, including a major pivot in her business, the lessons she learned from investing in coaches and strategies that didn't always work, and how she's found more clarity by slowing down instead of constantly trying to do more. If you've ever looked at AI and thought, I know I probably need to understand this, but I have no idea where to start, this episode is for you. Here's my conversation with Jacki DeVries. Hi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. Listeners who have been listening, thank you. First of all, thank you for coming back. Secondly, you know that I talked to the guests for a while before we jump on, and it's just, we're already recording us right into it. So it's almost like it's like a whiplash. Hi, welcome.
It gets your energy up, you're like, all right.
Right. We're here. We should have like dance music in the background.
Right?
Jacki, will you introduce yourself and just tell us what your business is and what you do?
Sure. I'm Jacki DeVries. I am the founder of Fire Up AIO, and I help established businesses become the ones AI recommends when buyers use tools like ChatGPT and Google to decide who to trust and hire.
Oh,
So that is,
my goodness.
yeah.
You're speaking.
I've really tried to shorten it.
It's like, no, I'm like, you're speaking to my soul and my heart. I'm like, okay, one, I hate sales. How can I leverage AI? Also, AI is so fast moving. Everyone's talking about it, but I'm like, that is the way we need to leverage it. Like, how do people find me? I don't even know. I want to hear about your business. And I know we talked about this before, but actually, what is AIO? Can you just let's start there, actually, if you're okay with that.
Yep. So AI optimization essentially is, yes. So similar to search engine optimization, except for AI optimization is completely different in the sense that it doesn't trigger, like with SEO, there's like 3 parts that matter and they're all equal. With AIO, there's like 7 things that matter and they all like are weighted differently in terms of like how much,
and so like when we think about, so like most of my listeners, I think, are pretty up to date on, they're using Claude and ChatGPT, and we're creating content and like that, like updating our websites. So when we think about AIO, that is how to use Claude, or how can Claude pull you up when somebody is on there saying, hey, I need, I don't know, a fractional CFO, and I want my name to be the first one up, right? Is that how, that's what you...
So I think the more relevant would be the Google AI overviews. So when you type something in Google and then it comes up with that box and it tells you, and then you can see on the right-hand side the different, sources that it. So that's really those companies that have that. There's usually 3 or 4. Those are the ones where all the traffic is going to that. So, that is it. But it's also how you ChatGPT and Claude. I just basically say AI platforms.
Yeah. Well, is there a way for me, like, could I just go into Google and like type in scale with clarity or something, and I could kind of see to start, like, hey, it knows nothing about you. You're nowhere to be found. Like, is that a good way to even see if, like, oh my God, I need Jacki immediately because nobody can find me?
It's so funny because I just was talking about this yesterday about having every business should go into ChatGPT and Google and, who are the best companies for XYZ and see what shows up.
Oh, that's a good idea. So not even your name specifically, but literally ask it a question like you would, like, I'm looking for a fractional CFO that deals with service-based businesses, like, and just see if I pop, if I'm on page 72, I don't know, like whatever, maybe on Google.
Right? At all.
Yeah.
I mean, what's crazy is that traditional SEO actually, I won't get into the technical pieces of it, But essentially, a lot of people's websites are actually being blocked by AI crawlers because that was something that, like, when SEO was big, that they put in the back end for a lot of like hosting. So it's like first, but that's the technical piece, right? And the only way
Yeah.
to know that is if you look at the back end. But uh,
But
anyways,
also that's a good thing to know, like, if you're not popping up at all, like, to start, just like we can go down so many rabbit holes of AI and how fast it's changing all
right,
this stuff, but just as a like, a step 1A
yes,
is see how you're even popping and know if you don't. There's probably a couple things, but one of the reasons could be because on the back of your website, all the stuff that's happening on the back end could be blocking
yes,
it as one of the things.
yes,
So
yeah,
you may be doing all the right things, which we can get to later or whatever, but even so you your website was if it was created accurately or as it was like standard, I guess 10 years
mhm,
ago, it wouldn't even allow AI to
yes,
find
yeah,
you.
it would be blocked.
That's
I
so
found that out the hard
maddening. I
way.
wouldn't have even thought of that.
You know, me neither. Until I looked at my own site after
Like, I have
talking
to
to
go
some
in right
people,
now. We should use me as a taste
right?
test study.
I know. I
Yes.
was like, "I have a plugin. I can show you how to." No, another time. But it is that I looked at it myself and I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting blocked by it." And the other reason why it's good to do that is because also there's no point. I call it the skyscraper method,
Yeah.
but there's no point in reinventing the wheel if really take a look at those two or three
Yes.
companies that are showing up and try to understand why they're showing up. What do they have that you don't?
Mm,
Type thing.
yeah.
And usually, frankly, the biggest change between AI optimization and SEO is testimonials and reviews and like how many places you show up, like community engagement.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. I mean, when we look at SEO in 2003 when it was created, people make decisions so much differently now,
Yeah.
and really AI essentially mirrors how people make decisions. And for me, like when we went to Costa Rica, the first thing that popped up in Google, no chance that I was going to book it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, let me look at the reviews. What do
Yes.
people think
Or
about
you
it?
see
What's their
promoted, I'm
experience?
always like, I don't want the like, that's them
Yeah, like
promoting themselves. I wanna know, like yeah, yeah, so there's certain things you're just totally bypassing now.
yeah. So that's what AI looks for too. We'll look at the reviews and it's more of like the trust and authority building,
Yeah.
which was not as big with SEO.
Is that when you say testimonials too and, like, the reviews, does that have to be on a website? Like, is that critical to put on your website? Or if you are I guess I don't know where else, like, LinkedIn or if you're, like, active on social media, does it scour all of that, and is it able to bring it together, or is it good to kinda
Great
have it all in
question.
one place?
Um, so essentially the way that, and this is why when we look at like, why is AI important now? And like, why should you do this now? So AI is building a profile around
Mhm.
you and your business, like right now.
Yeah.
So essentially what it will do is it pulls everything across the web.
Oh.
So again, SEO is just your website, but AIO is very different. And it pulls everything. I even joke and say like the Yelp review that Karen left about like how terrible you are, whatever,
Karen!
right?
Ugh,
I know
Karen, not again.
the worst. But it pulls that and it builds a profile. So it's important to get ahead of that now.
Ah.
So you're able to control what profile they create.
So you this is a leading
Sorry,
question,
I
but
know.
you
Okay, good.
have an audit,
Over.
right? Is this like your lead like, I know you were mentioning before, but I'm like, everyone needs to at least you have a lead magnet, right? Like a freebie that somebody can download. Where tell me about that. Because does it do this? Does it like help people understand even where they're not showing up or
So, okay. I'm gonna try not to get too technical because it was built on logic. But and when I say that, actually, let's just scratch that. Blah, blah, blah. Obviously, everything's logical. But anyways, so I essentially the fire up framework is the basically what I use for to help people understand how AI optimization works and what's important. And each letter has a different meaning. So like the F and fire up, that's foundation, that's a technical piece, making sure that your website can actually be seen and rendered and indexed by bots. So so what it does is it actually on the in the back end, you put in your website and it will there's different logic built out to look at specific things. So it goes to Page Speed Insights, which is a free tool people can use to figure out like what their technical website, like your technical website, what it looks like. And so it has all these AI agents that
Yeah.
are pulling this information. And then what it does is, as I mentioned, the way that AI works, some things are more important than others. So, for example, foundation is very important, but more important is going to be
Mm,
the up,
yeah.
uh, the unify, because that's the one that's really making sure that everything across the web is saying the same message.
Mm, that's
So the
yeah.
yeah,
It's so crazy. No, like because actually, oh, LinkedIn. Actually, I've been in their algorithm, which is AI based now too, and as everything in the whole world is. But
yeah.
what is becoming clearer to me with AI's capability, and this is why when I like so good that you do this, and everyone needs to go download this and kind of and work with you for that matter. But
So it's not a
what,
download. Just you put in your website on
oh,
my website,
okay,
and
good,
it will. Claude
okay.
helped me build
Shout out
that.
Claude.
I know.
um,
Well,
but what's
anyway,
becoming clear to me is as much AI's capability, which you already said, which is to kind of go across everywhere you are, which is a little scary, but like across where your presence is on your website and social media and stuff. But it brings it together. And if it's not a cohesive story across, it hurts you. Whereas before, because the capability wasn't there, you could have a really clear website and then, I don't know, be going crazy on Facebook, whatever, wherever it is. But it feels like it's building your personality. And so exactly what you said, even more important, like it's probably things that you've forgotten about, but just like what is, when somebody Googles you, what is being pulled together
what
in
is
this, your brand, your personal brand, whether you like it or not.
yeah, I mean, they're building that profile. So that's so essentially with the fire up again, and then I'll say the 3 signals. That is there's a specific process that they do where, like, there are signals that they'll check mark to see. So if they essentially get to that point where they look across the web and you have different,
Yeah.
different things said here, maybe you changed your business model, whatever, that will to them signal that you're untrustworthy essentially, and then they'll move on to somebody else.
That's so
So
crazy.
the trust signals are really, really important. And part of that trust signal is, making sure that your messaging is consistent across all the things.
I mean, as a consumer, I love that because I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I want trust signals. I want like for me as a business. Not that I'm not trustworthy. Everyone, I'm trustworthy, but like, it makes you think about stuff you haven't before. You're like, oh, did I change my messaging recently, or is it like a little confusing? All this stuff. Oh, by the way, that you like isn't every entrepreneur struggles with, and you're like, AI's calling me out. Like, I didn't even know that. Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
100%.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god,
it's wild. I mean, it's wild.
Jackie,
It's been
how?
super fun learning about it because
Yeah.
I'm such a nerd and techie, but like it's wild.
Well,
Like
that's right.
if you understood the things that they know about you from being followed. I mean, all of the different Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So, real quick, on
Yeah.
Microsoft Ads, you
Huh?
can put in there like specific industries you want to target. And I was on the phone with an agent there a couple weeks ago. And I was like, how do you actually determine, the position these people are in, like the industry they're in? They're like, oh, we look at their LinkedIn profile and, their Facebook page or whatever. And I'm like, okay, Microsoft, I
Yeah,
mean, it's like
you're
they're
making some
all
assumptions that who knows if they're right, but like,
like, oh, that I mean, I'm like, that makes sense. Like the LinkedIn is actually smart, but again, we look at it and it's just things that you didn't think were connected before, and
no.
they totally are.
Well,
Like,
some people I know have created, but like, I think LinkedIn is becoming a very different engine than it was before, and more people are on it. But I do know some people who had a corporate job, um, have a stagnant LinkedIn page that was like when they were trying to find a job, went out on their own, created a website, and now it's like it's not syncing anymore.
like,
Yeah,
exactly. So then it's like,
yeah.
see ya.
X, they're not trustworthy. You're like, wait, no, I've done. What do you mean, I'm super trustworthy?
I know,
Oh my
right?
god, Jackie, how did you switching gears a little bit because we could go deep, deep, deep into this, but like AI is scary to a lot of people. Like it is so fast moving, but it's everywhere. And also, not to get into what we're talking about, like what it knows about you that I don't want it to know, maybe. But how did you get into this? And also, by the way, it's it's so new that no one has a ton of like you're just it's like trying to keep up with everything. So like, do you just love learning new things? Are you like a technologist at heart? Like what brought you into this?
Funny. So as I mentioned, well, I mentioned before the call,
Yes.
um, I've had a few different business coaches, which ultimately did not pan out, but
All
every
of
single
you?
one of
Yes,
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 right?
yes.
Um, and it's not even just them. Pretty much everyone has told me that I've always thrived in chaos.
Mhm.
So, not sure that I used to think it was a really bad thing,
You're like,
but
now the
then
world, hey, has delivered you chaos. It's like,
right?
this
So,
is your
uh,
era.
it is. Uh, but really a couple things. One, here I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and there is something called Tech Week. And this was last September. And I talked to several different CTOs there about, you know, SEO, all the things. And they
Yeah,
were like, within the next 6 months, it will no longer be about getting conversions on your website. It's going to be about getting conversions through AI agents. So that was the first like, wow, okay, I really need to change my business.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so this was, I don't know what September was, however, but still, that's when it started, and I took a step back from Fire Up SEO, and at that point, I wasn't taking on clients or anything, and I just learned everything I could
so good.
about AI optimization because I knew and it's interesting, especially locally, you have a lot of people who are like, "Screw AI, I'm not going to." It's happening, it's the future, unfortunately.
You're gonna be pulled kicking and screaming, whether you like it or not. Yes.
And now looking at it, I'm super happy I did that.
Yeah,
But it was just I started seeing that massive shift, and these CTOs had chief technology officers had these softwares that were actually doing SEO for them
yeah.
through AI agents, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so my business, I should probably look at what's next."
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy. I won't speak to the whole there's a lot of fear. I know that. And because trying to keep up with stuff, a lot of in general technological change and change in general scares people. But I saw I don't remember who it was. Somebody, some famous writer, but he was being interviewed and he was like, the shift is going to happen when right now a lot of businesses are looking at SEO and how to cut costs. So, like, basically, or if it's your own business, you're talking about, like, oh my God, I'm going to be obsolete in 5 years, 10 years. And the shift is when you look at AI and, like, how can that benefit? How can I make it better? Like, how can I leverage it to be way more productive and like offer this totally different service? And so it sounds like you too did that shift. You're like, I could be like, crap, what I have to start from scratch again, or it's like you could leverage it to really like provide this amazing service. And kudos to you for pivoting
Right?
like
Thank
that.
you. Well, I think a couple things. One, AIO is like the first real significant um platform or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
concept
Yeah.
that has come out since SEO. So this right now, the way I looked at it as I was like, I could actually become an industry leader at this point because it's so new.
How
So when we
exciting.
look yeah, right? And
Yeah.
so that was the big driver behind it is that I had the opportunity to really start talking about something and build myself up as that, that
Yeah.
leader in the space. Which again brings like a whole layer of like, I don't want to use the word stress, but like constant like, okay, what can I do? What can I'm getting better at it. I'm very good.
By the way,
Meditation.
every entrepreneur, not to take it away, but like that is so resonates is just you're always like, I should be doing more. What's the different thing? Do I know enough? What am I talking about? It's this like constant flywheel in your
Once
brain of like, how do I shut
and
it
it
off?
drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the reason why all right, let's just be real.
Yeah.
When the AI optimization came out, I was like, "What the I have to learn something new, like, what is this?" And then
Yes.
I saw how like, complex it was, and I was like,
I don't have the energy to like to
"Right."
even start. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I was super excited, but I still had that mindset
Yeah.
because and so with that, I can totally relate to a lot of people right now who I mean, I'm in the space and I feel
You're
that
like
way.
an expert and also still learning because it is changing literally daily. So you like, yeah, you're both a, what is it, a teacher and a student. Like,
So I will say, and this is open to debate, but first of all, that's why I created the Fire Up framework because I was like, okay, people are going to be overwhelmed by this. How can I break this down so it's easily digestible and people understand it. Because once you get the concept, it's not as bad. But right now, there's so much stuff out there that's just like noise that doesn't matter. Um, and the fire up framework is built, it maps directly to how AI makes decisions and like what's important.
Yeah.
And those things I don't see changing because they really are all about you, like buyer behavior.
Yeah.
So as long as we continue to buy the way that we buy, those aren't changing. So those are like the foundational
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
uh, around it. I say that now, but ask me in 6 months and we'll
I'll
see.
interview you again in a month even. It's
Yeah.
like, right, I know.
I don't know. But anyways, that was my thoughts too, because I was like super excited that I had something new I could do, but I was
Yeah.
also like, there's a lot to learn.
What's been the reaction to people you're talking to? Because I know how I've responded, but is it like, is it yeah, just as you're, like, talking about, are they like, "Thank God, just come in and do this," or are they like, "Teach me," or are they like, I don't even want you to even I wanna pretend it's not even there."
Yes. So it depends on the platform.
Yeah.
But we'll go with LinkedIn. I've had a mixed bag of nuts.
Really?
Um, yeah, I mean, I had some people like comment on my, posts about like they're so against AI and they're like, I don't want this is so overwhelming. Like, why are you talking about this? Like, right? Um, yeah. So which
Oh.
again, I understand. I
Yeah.
get it because, I spent 15 years in SEO. I am an expert in that space and I'm learning something new too.
Mhm.
So like I get where you're at
Yeah.
there. And then I have a lot of people who are like, "Oh, this is the future. I'm interested." Like business owners that are like, "I'm trying to talk to my team about this. Like I'm trying to have them explain how important it is."
Yes.
But then that's kind of where it ends, where they're like, "I need to find out about it, but like, how do I start? Where do I?" And then I had the other piece, which I just got an email yesterday where they're like, "This is important. I just want you to do it for
Yeah.
me. Can we talk?"
Yeah. I think
So it just depends on where you are in your journey.
I always say, Jackie, and I love your I won't even say positioning because that sounds like, "Oh, we're being strategic." Like, I love thinking of those 3 groups. I I am of the mindset that I never wanna convince somebody that they need a service. Like, so there's a group of people that
100%.
aren't there, right? But for the other 2 that are like, I just and when you talk about your fire up framework, without even going into each of those, because I think people will be like, "Oh, I don't understand." But like to have a really clear framework so that that second group that's like, "Okay, I know I need to do something," but the general conversation right now is just it's so fast moving. It's going to take over jobs. Maybe not even the fear mongering, but it's just like it is coming so fast and changing so fast that I think people are like, yes, but like I don't even know where to start. There's Claude, there's ChatGPT, there's it's proliferating. So with that said, having somebody like you that's like, nope, we've got these FIREUB 6
Yes.
six for the
Right.
framework that we're just going to go through. And of course, there's like going to be other things, but like it kind of for me that I'm like, okay, we can go through that. I know somebody like you that can like help me do that. Like it is so like almost exciting, or it's like opening up this, especially for every entrepreneur or in every small business that is like trying to build credibility. Like you said, the market has changed and is trying to find the new way to bring in sales. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is opening a door to so much potential if I can like just follow this framework and like
Figure it
really,
out, right?
yes, yes,
And I will say, like, and I continue to say this to everyone, like, right now is the time to do it. And I know everyone says it about being like, "Meh," but I mean that in the sense that we look at SEO in 2003 and the people who got it and did it built a lead gen system for the next 10 years.
yes,
So AI is very, very similar. And again, this is why it excites me so much, but like, it's also very
yes,
overwhelming. I
yes,
understand that. Because there's that essentially if you get in now, you're gonna build it out. Like it's not like it's a one-time thing and then it's
no.
gonna change and
Well,
no, it's
I
yeah,
like I equate it to, and I was telling you before we started recording, this is not a like sanctioned study, but it was somebody was talking about that like 3 in 10 women, so we're talking about women specifically, but 3 in 10 women are aware of AI and using it. So that's a huge section if we correlate that to like women owned businesses or whatever, like that potentially aren't. But only 1 in 10 feels competent in it because it's so fat and I don't know which one. And so that's a big group that is feeling a little bit like I don't know what I'm using. But with that said, exactly where you are is like technology has always been if you don't even keep up just a little bit, you don't need to be the expert. Like it's trying to keep up, but just like a really baseline knowledge and let me dabble in it a little bit. Let me just kind of tinker and add like little bite-sized pieces. It's going to
Yeah.
pass you by. So like when you stay, I like think about like my grandparents that were like, cell phones aren't, or I don't know, whatever, like my great
Yeah.
grandparents, but like if you don't even know how to dial on it, like you're so far, the change is too great now. So if you can just like kind of keep these like small things, like you said, and like implement them as you go, like that's progress in and of itself.
Well, and so I was talking to a business owner. So a lot of my network is small business owners, entrepreneurs, solar entrepreneurs. And so like my offerings per se, so the scorecard, what it does is it goes through those 6 pillars
Yeah.
and then it shoots out where you weighted in each and it gives you like 3 or 4 priorities to focus on.
I need it. I'm
Yeah.
going to go to your website as soon as we finish talking.
So, yeah.
Make notes,
Um,
to-do list for today. Okay.
so you know, that is the priority piece. And then with the audit, that is more robust. But essentially, the other offering that I have right now for small business owners, because again, when I look at who I can help
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
it's not enterprises because that's not where I'm at. That's not my network.
Yes.
It's building out an implementation plan. So the girl I talked to yesterday, this woman I talked to yesterday was like, I'm fine updating content on my website. I just need to know what to write about. Or
Yes.
like, I'm fine updating my pages. I just need to understand the structure because there's like a specific signal structure
Yeah.
to your pages that you
Yes.
need. You don't have to change all your pages at the same time. As long as you understand
Yeah.
like what needs to be
Yep.
changed, then it's like, okay, I can do and I always say start with your top 3 sales pages,
Yes.
whatever those be, because not all pages are created equal. Um, yeah,
I
anyways.
love that. I'm like going through the list of my clients because they're probably they fall into 2 camps. I think one is probably like, we're trying to grow revenue in so many different ways. We have a lot of different initiatives. Where do I focus? Probably just tell me what to do, but then do like, okay, let's get it done, which I know you can provide that too. But there's a bigger camp, which is the earlier stage entrepreneurs, like less revenue, less complexity at this point.
Yeah.
It is the like, and they're still kind of wearing multiple as everyone is, but like a lot of the hats still. I love that because and this is me, so you're talking to me, but I'm like, if you can just give me the top 5 or 3, I am really good executor. I'm like, done, got it. I just don't even like to have the mental capacity to be like, where do I even start? And what's the framework? And what is it even looking at? Like, I think that's so critical for a huge group of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I call it the roadmap. It's like an implementation plan slash roadmap. That's what it is right now. I don't know what else to call it. But anyways,
Go to your
and it
website. It'll be the name of it.
and that's exactly what it is. So like, for example, a content calendar. So like, okay, I won't get into like what I do, but here are the things that you should like the one thing you should write about this month, the things that you should include it with it. This is where you can get some additional resources, blah, 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 blah. So I do feel to your point, I do feel like when I said that to her, she was like, "Oh my gosh, that would be great because
It's like a weight
like
off. It's like, oh, okay, good. Like, just give
like
me the
I don't
plan.
have to spend $10,000 to get this
No.
done. Like, I can have a plan and then again reach it. Like there are specific parts, and she said yesterday, she's like, "Well, with the technical piece, like, is that something you can help me with?" Yes. So and being like being able to help with that because as you know a business owner, I will say I'm learning it as we go, and I've been learning it for the last 2 years. I don't wanna say that it's hard to trust people because that's not the truth, but it's like, it's hard to find, for example, a technical developer when you're not in the space that
I
you can trust,
totally
who's
agree.
gonna do I mean, that's always been the issue with SEO, people say, because a lot of it's done on the back end, so, like, are they actually doing anything?
Yeah.
Like, is what they're doing and frankly, I've worked with developers who've told me they've done stuff, and I'm now because again, it's my field, I know they didn't, which is why I love Claude because my Claude's a she.
As she should
Um,
be. Yes, very,
yeah,
very
right?
smart. She's
You know,
wonderful.
right?
Claudia.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I think I'm gonna start Claude. And it is because it's Claude dot AI.
Yeah.
So Claudia is actually
Claude, yeah, yeah. But
do it.
Jackie, that, I just am thinking of the correlation with me and my business and my clients, and I can totally relate because I think what I know for in the finance world is there can be one, a lot of shame, and people don't really talk financials, but they're also like, I should be doing this. And it's just like becomes this like, I guess it's similar to how you're like talking about maybe a developer, like an IT talk. And what I love about what you're bringing is, and this is what I say too, I'm like, I'm in it too. Like I'm trying to figure out where to invest and where, like all making all those decisions as you are, but that makes it more authentic and real. And just like, I appreciate that you're doing the research, you're figuring out for yourself too, but you're doing the research,
Yeah.
and then you can just talk the talk with me from like a real perspective instead of making me feel like, which sometimes I talk to some people and it's just like, I should know where you're speaking to, like, what is AIO? Let's start from that. And it makes it feel really attainable and not actually as hard as I think it would have been, like this
Yeah.
big endeavor. So I love that.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
eh,
Again, like once it clicks, it clicks.
yeah,
But it's getting there because I mean, there's a lot of hype built up, right? And again, AI optimization isn't necessarily Claude and ChatGPT, like how to use it to better your business. It's just how do you get seen there? And there are like AI. There's like we've talked 70 different things that you should be focusing on, or you should learn, or whatever to increase efficiencies. But this specific, piece of it is very obtainable once you understand the framework.
yeah, I think I was telling you, and this might be just as a side note, but before we started recording, I had this realization for me. Talk about like the things you learn on this entrepreneurial journey. And
And
it's been 5 years for me. And I'm like, I thought I would have had everything figured out. I did the whole like, went to corporate, got my MBA, like check, easy. No, but what I've most recently learned about myself on this personal development journey is the amount of, I think I was telling, like the amount of marketing and awareness, like putting stuff out there. Obviously I have this podcast, but I'm posting a lot on LinkedIn and, you're trying not to burn yourself out, but you want to grow your awareness. And what I'm hearing, and it actually, again, is like exciting is that all of that can be actually less effort, but more awareness if you just do it, leverage AI. And it used to be actually relatively recently, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, AI has leapfrogged in the last even 6 months that if you tried to do it before, it wouldn't. But like where we are at this point in time is that you can make a piece of content, if you're doing it the right way or on your website, can really work wonders as opposed to trying to do 100 different things.
yes, and
Is
that is
that
what I'm
correct?
all about. Yes, 150, like a million percent yes.
Oh, good.
Yes. I
Oh,
will say, first of all, part of the reason I'm so passionate, the reason why my name is Fire Up is because my ex CEO was like, when I think about what really fires you up in the morning, I think about search marketing. So I was just like, bing, all right, I'm
that's
going to
it.
become an entrepreneur. Everyone was like, it's really hard. And I'm like, it can't be that hard.
Mhm,
Let
mhm.
me tell you.
Well, you know
Anyways,
what? But this is what this podcast is all about too. Like hard, it's hard, like the frameworks and yeah, figuring out your price, like the real
yes,
business things. But the hardest for me has been like, who do I want to serve? What is that like? Who is the person? What are the services that really fill me up that don't drain me? Like and it's all internal, which is hard because the flip for me has been it's not looking external. Big unlock is like it within me and like what differentiates me and what do I want to do? And then from that we can like you can identify like I need Jackie to help with this. I need Brooke to help with finance, but like so I don't know about for you, but for entrepreneurship, that has been, I'm like, I thought it'd be so
100%.
easy. Like,
Oh my gosh. I will say though, because we talked about it before this,
yes.
the transition I have had in my business over the last 2.5 weeks
Yeah.
is substantial.
Really? So good.
Yeah, substantial. And I will say a big part of that, which, to each their own, is I started meditating in the morning because, like,
Mm,
with my space, with my industry, it's like I was pulling all nighters because I'm like, I got to get this stuff out now. I want to do this. Um, and I just had to take a step back because I was freaking exhausted.
yeah.
Wasn't making any money. No, like the like, what I was building didn't make sense for my industry, and I knew that, but I was hoping that it did. So that way, I could kind of do the coaching in the back end, still bring revenue in, but
Yeah.
like, have a baby.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that it doesn't necessarily work that way because that's not where the demand is. But I took a step back and I did that exact thing. I was like, you know what? I can't like I've realized that I cannot do everything myself. This is not a sustainable, like I can't continue to live like
You're
this.
like,
And
"I
my
don't want
husband's
it to
like,
work this way
"Stop."
because that means I have to keep doing," like, that's not
Yeah,
what you wanna build. It's gotta be a
right.
different yeah, yeah.
So then I went on and she's 2 weeks in, but I hired a virtual assistant, who's building out my CRM,
Yes.
and go high level, then that's where my email campaigns are gonna be, and, like, I have, like, 4 or 5 different softwares that my old strategist had me, get that I'm like, I'm spending who knows how much on this stuff. So, I had that realization where I was just like, "Okay, I can't do this anymore," and part of that is with the meditation piece is it just kinda, like, lowers, for me, that anxiety piece, and then I don't even know how. So there's this book, it's called Metaphysical Millionaires,
Yeah.
and it's about, like, meditation and how Oprah, all the people, like, live by it. Um, and it really is, it's just one of those things where it kinda makes your brain, like, go down a level or 2 so you can actually think logically. And I've only been doing it for, like, 2.5 months,
But
but,
there's I mean, there's so many thoughts, Jackie. There's a ton of science behind it, but also I mean, even if we just think very specifically around how our day to day goes, we get very much in reactive mode. And you're like, I got this checklist, and oh, that person emailed me, and I got to like get the new client. So I've got to follow up. And it becomes very reactive when what we know and the biggest unlock for everyone I've worked to, shout out to Scott Greats, who was on the podcast. Gosh, by the time this airs, I don't know, go in whatever. But he's been in business for like 25 years, I think he said. And his biggest unlock, he started like 2 years ago, was he carves out Friday and like for 2 hours he puts his phone away and he just journals and meditates, and he's like an insurance broker. Like he's in a world of a lot of, but that has been the biggest unlock because it just gets you out of reactive and literally in your CEO mindset. So I love that you're like proof that especially in a really fast moving
journal.
oh,
She's ready for a new adventure.
I love that. So
Um,
you look at the front too and it's a reminder
yeah,
every day. But
right?
just
Exactly.
it's so good. I love that. Well,
I
okay.
do it in the morning. The morning routine is huge for me because, again, I look at pulling all-nighters, staying up till 2. My schedule was a mess. I was freaking tired all the time. I would sleep all weekend. Then my friends would be like, "Where are you?" So I get
You're
up at
like,
6 o'clock this
it's
morning.
so good, I'm running my own business. It's so
I know, right?
awesome.
It's really, I know. Like, I know it so well. Like, I'm in the top 5%. Well, that's like, a portion. That's like a sliver of what's actually. But in the morning, I frankly, for me, guided meditations is the best. That's what I listen to, and then I journal. So those are the 2 things I will do in the morning before anything else, and it has kept my life, like, saying, "Do I like it?" No, because I like to sleep. But at the same and my husband likes to watch TV till, like, 10:30, 11.
Yep,
So,
yep, yep. But you're like it's
but
kinda like working out, but for your brain. Like I always say, like, sometimes you're like, "No, I don't want it," but you're like, "Ah, I'm gonna feel better when it's done, and I know I need it." Like, it's like somebody equated it to, like, giving your brain a bath. Like, rinsing it
listen.
out of all the thought like, getting all
Yeah.
those thoughts out and cleaning it out, and then it's just like you're starting fresh too. So,
Yeah, and
it's
then affirmations, that's like every morning I'll put down my affirmations for, because I'm building a business in an industry that, like you said, changes daily, that it's new, people like buyers don't even fully understand it yet. All these things, and I mean, affirmations have been huge too. All of a sudden I'm like, "I got this." Like, what?
I
Like,
gotta
I'm already a millionaire, man.
'cause you could easily go into which everyone, whether they admit it or not, can relate, where you go into this path of like, "Well, do I know?" Like, just this inner critic that
100%.
all of us have. And I've started it's like they say parenting is the biggest mirror moment, so with my kids too, I've, like, started with them, I hear how they talk, "Ugh, I failed this test," "Oh, I'm so stupid," or whatever, and I'm like, "Why are you talking?" And as I'm telling the words are coming out of my mouth to tell them not to talk to themselves like that, I'm like, "Do
No.
that to myself." So you're absolutely right, like, and the best athletes, the most like successful in whatever way you define it, people, they do that. They talk to themselves
Yes.
like, you got this. You
Yes,
got
you got
this.
it. And that's 100% it, because again, like, and I mentioned to you this last year, it was a steep learning curve, but
Yeah.
after spending $32,000 on local networking and coaches and strategists,
What a good
I
learning.
realized that I know, I know, right? Um, so I realized, sorry, I just did my taxes. So you guys, that's why it's so fresh in my
Mhm,
brain.
mhm,
Anyways,
mhm.
that's when I, realized, like, okay, I know my industry the best. And that's when I started being like, I need to believe in myself
Yeah.
because, you know,
I
it's the most important thing.
It's so good because if you could I always say I'm telling myself this, but I can tell you because you are not me. I'm like, I see what you're doing and I'm like, it is so needed. It is like even just the basics is like somebody is like, yes, well, how can I pay? Like, and but I can put myself in your shoes and be like, like the questioning thing. So I love I really do feel like for all of us, the biggest unlock is grounding ourselves in what is important to us, having the clear head, giving
Yeah.
affirmations too. And like that is the only thing that will sustain you in entrepreneurship because you've got to do then the hard things, which you said, like instead of paying others money, it is like we talked about this before we started recording too. It's like doing the webinar or having the calls and having someone be like, that isn't actually what I want. I want this. But you don't know it. You just, that's where the
I
learning,
don't
and it's
know.
like the
Yep.
uncomfortable stuff, but that's the
Yeah.
thing, as opposed to somebody else telling you what it's going to be. So,
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's trial and error. And, I will also say you started your business because you're passionate about what you do, and usually you understand your buyer. So for me, with the strategist, I was all like, yay, perfect. She's going to help me build out my programs. In my gut, I knew that the programs weren't the best, but I was like, well, she's a strategist. So at the end of the day, taking a step back and being like, okay, what do my buyers want? Like what do they want?
trust yourself.
Um, Trust yourself. And it's I will say, it's been a journey.
Well, I love that I don't love that you've been through this journey, but I do
No.
because anyone that works with you, and this is what I hope for myself too, like you get it. You get it. It's a journey. We're learning. We're evolving. You're doing the same stuff you're helping others on with for your own business. And also people come to you and are like, God, I'm struggling with this. You're like, no, I get it because I've done that too. So I just feel like it makes all of us like, we're not talking to you from the stage. We're talking, what is it like? We're talking to you from like, we're peers here, right here.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think for me, with my industry specifically, well, two things I will say. One, I grew up with my dad starting his business. My dad started his business in 2000. I was 14, and I saw, I mean, the things that he had to go
yeah,
through. Like, I just all of a sudden, like, I am a huge like advocate of small businesses because it's like sometimes they do get taken advantage of, and he
I'm
did a lot.
same. I grew up with parents, small businesses,
You
and I was
know,
like, I'm not oblivious to. There's no glasses, rose-colored glasses on how easy this is. Like in that regard, like,
right?
yeah,
And then like the other piece is that eh, one, I'm allergic to wasting money, which is why I love search marketing so much because it's like, but with that said, the other thing that is really important to me is unfortunately, SEO has gotten such a bad label because there's so many businesses out there. I worked for one that like say they're doing things, but they're not.
mm,
And like, as somebody who grew up, seeing a business owner,
yeah,
all the things,
yeah,
it's like, just do your work, like, do your work, and the reports that I see sometimes with these agencies who will, like, try to, like, sugarcoat, like, they will show a list of their keywords, and, like, what they do is they put most relevant at the top, not the position. So, like, yeah, they're relevant keywords, but your position is 72. Like, you're showing up for it, but, like, not in a way that matters.
yeah.
Sorry, I
Interesting.
get really, really
Oh,
passionate
well,
about these
no.
things.
Clearly, which is good. As you should be. Everyone says like, find what you're really passionate about and that's what that'll sustain you. I'm like, yep, you got it. And I feel the same way too. Mine is like women business owners, small businesses growing, like leaning into what makes you happy, defining your like all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, we need more.
Yeah,
We need
right?
more.
Like, we deserve to, like, be where the enterprises are. Like, screw them, they're
I know.
probably not even doing a good job anymore, you know? Like, it's just, like, a money like, especially publicly traded okay, sorry, I won't go there.
No.
Anyways.
Well, I have said it already in this episode, but I need to go on your website and see how I stand out in AIO. But I hope everyone feels that way too. Like that it's super important and it really is an unlock and a benefit and it can really um, make some things easier
Yeah.
for what you might be struggling with. So with that said, how do people find you? What's your website? I'm going to put it all in the show notes so people can reach out to you
Yeah.
before you
Oh,
get
perfect.
booked out for months at a
And
time.
right?
Yeah, that's the dream.
When that day comes.
Yeah.
Anyways, so website, it's, fireup-aio.com. It's I've simplified it. Again, my Claudia helped let me redesign my website and it's much more simple. So, I mean, right on the front page, it will be like, get your free AI visibility scorecard. It will take you to the page and you enter your email or your your website email,
Yeah.
and you'll see it goes like it shows you the process as it's going through it.
I love that. Then I'll put that in the show notes, fireup-aio.com, and then your AI visibility scorecard is the place to start. And then based on that, I'm sure you have your contact information if anyone wants to reach out to you to work with you.
Sure do.
And what about social? Are you on any social if they want to follow you?
I
Like,
am.
yeah,
So I'm about to like really rev up my social media presence. I have my calendar booked out and everything. Well, with Go High Level, I can schedule it all
really.
there.
I know. It does make it
So
easier.
it makes it huge. Like I can actually, it's not like such a chore.
Yes.
Anyways, LinkedIn, for sure, that's been my main driver. But I very recently started doing a lot of Instagram and Facebook, and that will be revving up, which for me is going out of my comfort zone because I've never really mixed my personal
Yeah.
with
Oh,
business. I've always kind of kept it with LinkedIn. And it's kind of like, well, if you want to survive, you better get your shit
well, as
together.
it said, you were just saying AI kind of brings it all together. So you might as well this
100%.
this is you. And I do think that businesses I mean, there's certain people's private life no, you don't want out there, but really being authentic and I think LinkedIn has shown that like it is not just your professional. It's like show me who you are and I want to base who I'm working with based on the person, not just their expertise or like what their website says. Like I want your personality and all. And then like that's how I'm going to make my decision. So I love
I
that.
could not agree with you more. And
I hope people reach out to you because they need it and I love
yeah,
what you're doing. So thank you for coming on.
yes.
Thank you for
Well, thank you for
sharing all
having
these
me.
tips. I'm like, oh, notes. I have a full page of notes.
Hopefully it didn't make people just be like, all right, I'm done. Because if I get too much information, I just like shut down. So
No, no, it's all good. That's why that we keep the podcast to like 30 to
yeah,
45 minutes. So it's just like a
perfect.
snippet of information. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sounds good. Bye.
Hey there. If this episode sparks something for you, I'd really love to know. Shoot me an email or leave me a comment on the episode. Those messages really do mean more to me than you realize. And if you're craving more clarity in your business or your career, you can explore ways to work together at www.scalewithclarity.com. You guys, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to the episode. I always love recording these and sharing them with you and looking forward to seeing you on the next episode of Scale with Clarity.